Right behind me is a massive box, weighs about 300 pounds. I had to get a couple Costco staff members to get it into the back of my truck. But this is a 6 foot by 5 foot plastic shed that I'm going to unbox and try to get it ready to move to our off-grid property. So the main reason I pulled all these pieces out is because I want to make sure that I have access to the manual. I know what tools that I need to bring with me to our off-grid property to set this up. And then I also need to inventory these pieces to make sure everything's accounted for, because our property is nowhere near a Costco, and I'd rather keep it here and return it to our Costco that's 5 minutes away than get it stuck up in Virginia without a way to lift it back up. I checked to make sure all those panels are here, and I have them all. So now I'm gonna put these flexible panels back into the box because I don't want them to get stepped on or anything, but I'm gonna keep the hardware out. There's probably at least 100 pounds of hardware in here between the 3 to 4 different boxes, and I'm gonna keep those separate so they're easier to move in and out of our U-Haul. So I want to do things a bit out of order from what the instructions say. I want to go ahead and tackle these windows. You can see here, there's 2 boxes because there's 2 different shapes. We have quantity of 2 of these triangular windows, quantity 2 of these rectangular windows for the front. And then there's these foam gasket pieces. So I'm gonna put those around, seated into position, and then I'm gonna screw these on with the supplied screws. Well, that's it for my pre-assembly phase. I basically saved myself an hour of work on site, and I familiarized myself with the layout of the parts and with what tools I need. So the next step is to assemble this on site.
Before I could pack all this up, however, I found out that according to the manual, this unit requires at least a concrete foundation or a wooden foundation. So this meant a quick trip to the hardware store to grab some pressure-treated wood. In order for me to take the truck to get this wood, we had to move this box onto the sawhorses. But because this box is relatively flat, it made the perfect work surface to assemble this platform. You'll notice I used pressure-treated 2x4s instead of 2x6s. Typically something of this size would require 2x6s at least for support, but because I'm putting this straight on the ground and it's only a temporary solution, I figured 2x4s would be the best, especially since we need to be able to lift this platform and load it in and out of a truck. I'm doing a framer's trick where you put two boards side by side so you can use the same square to transfer your lines across both boards at the same time. This works for floors or walls, and it makes sure that your spacing is consistent on both ends. And now that I've transferred my line to both boards and started my screws, it's time to assemble the structure. Since I'm working by myself, I need to put the rim joist along this box and then place the joists going across the box. Once I secure each of these with two screws, I can then slide the whole assembly across the box to allow me access to the other rim joist. If you have any experience with framing, you'll notice that I'm not using conventional spacings between these 2x4s. In fact, I'm following the manual to the T to make sure that the screws that go down through the floor of the shed have a place to hit the wood and securely fasten. This platform would be too heavy to carry if I secured all of these plywood sheets, so I decided to only secure the small one just to prevent it from warping and twisting during the drive. I'll try to throw in a picture in the next episode to show you what the final shed looks like, but for now, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can keep up with our move off grid. And while you're at it, go ahead and click that notification bell so you'll be reminded anytime we have a new video. We're still in the preliminary phases of moving off grid. We have to finish packing our shipping container, and we have to bring a full truckload of stuff to set up a camping site in our off-grid property. I'm excited about all the projects we have coming up, and I hope you are too. See you next time.